None. Marriage and family, two pillars that have shaped human society for centuries. These institutions have been the bedrock of communities, providing structure, stability, and a sense of belonging. But their forms and functions have evolved dramatically over time, reflecting the changing values, needs, and circumstances of societies around the world. But did you know that their forms and functions have evolved dramatically over time? From ancient times to the present day, the concept of marriage and family has undergone significant transformations, influenced by cultural, economic, and social factors. Centuries ago, marriage wasn't exactly a love story. In many cultures, it was more like a business contract. Families arranged marriages to secure alliances, land, and even peace treaties. Romantic, right? These unions were often strategic, designed to strengthen family ties and ensure the survival and prosperity of the family lineage. In many cultures, it was more like a business contract. The primary goal was to create alliances between powerful families, ensuring mutual benefits and the continuation of family wealth and status. Love and personal choice were often secondary considerations if they were considered at all. Families arranged marriages to secure alliances, land, and even peace treaties. Romantic, right? These arrangements were meticulously planned, with negotiations often involving dowries, property exchanges, and other forms of wealth transfer. The focus was on the collective good of the family rather than individual happiness. Fast forward to the Middle Ages. During this period, marriage started to take on a more personal dimension. While arranged marriages were still common, there was a growing recognition of the importance of mutual consent and personal compatibility. However, the institution of marriage was still heavily controlled by religious and civil authorities. Marriage started to take on a more personal dimension. The idea of romantic love began to gain traction, and courtship rituals became more elaborate. Love letters, poetry, and other expressions of affection started to play a role in the process of choosing a spouse, but it was still heavily controlled by religious and civil authorities. The church played a massive role, making marriage a sacred union. Religious ceremonies and rituals were central to the marriage process, and the church's approval was often required for a marriage to be considered legitimate. The church played a massive role, making marriage a sacred union. Religious leaders had significant influence over marital practices, and the sanctity of marriage was emphasized. This period also saw the development of various religious doctrines and laws governing marriage, including prohibitions on divorce and remarriage. Then came the Industrial Revolution. This era brought about profound changes in society, including shifts in family structures and marital practices. People moved to cities and started working in factories, leading to the rise of the nuclear family. People moved to cities and started working in factories. The traditional extended family model, where multiple generations lived under one roof, began to give way to the nuclear family, consisting of parents and their children. This shift was driven by economic factors, as urban living and industrial work required more mobility and smaller household units. With these changes, the concept of the nuclear family emerged. This new family structure was characterized by a focus on the immediate family unit, with parents taking on more direct responsibility for the upbringing and education of their children. The roles of husbands and wives also began to evolve, with an increasing emphasis on partnership and shared responsibilities. Marriage became more about companionship and less about economic necessity. The idea of marrying for love and personal fulfillment gained prominence, and romantic love became a central theme in literature, art, and popular culture. This shift was reflected in the changing nature of courtship and marriage ceremonies, which became more personalized and celebratory. Love started to play a starring role. Couples began to prioritize emotional connection and mutual affection, and the notion of a soulmate became more widely accepted. This period also saw the rise of new social norms and expectations around marriage, including the idea of lifelong monogamy and the importance of marital fidelity. In the 20th century, things really began to shake up. The women's rights movements, the sexual revolution, and changes in divorce laws reshaped marriage yet again. These social movements challenged traditional gender roles and advocated for greater equality and autonomy for women, leading to significant changes in marital dynamics and family structures. Women's rights movements, the sexual revolution, and changes in divorce laws reshaped marriage yet again. The push for gender equality led to legal reforms that expanded women's rights within marriage, including the right to own property, work outside the home, and seek divorce. The sexual revolution also brought about more open attitudes towards premarital sex, cohabitation, and alternative family arrangements. Equal partnership became a key goal. Couples began to strive for more balanced and equitable relationships, with both partners sharing responsibilities for household chores, childcare, and financial support. This shift was accompanied by changing societal attitudes towards gender roles and the increasing acceptance of diverse family structures. The institution of marriage is more diverse and inclusive than ever. Same-sex marriages, cohabitation without marriage, and single-parent families are all part of the modern landscape. These changes reflect a broader cultural shift towards recognizing and valuing different forms of love and family. Same-sex marriages, cohabitation without marriage, and single-parent families are all part of the modern landscape. The legal recognition of same-sex marriage in many countries has been a significant milestone, affirming the rights of LGBTQ+ individuals to marry and form families. Additionally, the increasing acceptance of cohabitation and single parenthood reflects a more flexible and inclusive understanding of family. The focus is on personal fulfillment and mutual respect. Modern marriages are often characterized by a commitment to equality, communication, and shared values. Couples are more likely to prioritize their individual and collective well-being, seeking to build relationships based on mutual support and respect. So whether you're swiping right or planning an elaborate wedding, remember that marriage has come a long way from its ancient roots. The advent of technology has also transformed the way people meet and form relationships, with dating apps and online platforms playing a significant role in modern courtship. Marriage has come a long way from its ancient roots, and it's still evolving. As society continues to change, so too will the institution of marriage. Future trends may include even greater diversity in family structures, new forms of partnership, and evolving social norms around love and commitment. What's next? Only time will tell. The future of marriage and family is likely to be shaped by ongoing social, economic, and technological changes. As we look ahead, it's clear that the journey of marriage and family is far from over, and the possibilities are endless.